Hi everyone, and welcome to our video where we will share all our tips and tricks for packing and planning the trip. So let's go! We realized we have never introduced ourselves properly in previous videos, so here's a quick intro. My name is Leila and this is my husband,
Hi, my name is Ildar.
and he's the man behind the camera. So we are digital nomads and have been traveling for the past 3 years. I work as a social media content creator and Ildar is an IT engineer. So how do we manage to post all these travel videos? Well, all the vlogs on this channel are created just the two of us. It's really obvious. Ildar helps with the filming and is also a main investor of this little project. And I handle everything else, editing, design, and so on. This is actually our first video in a talking format, and we are really excited to share all the useful tips we have picked up during our 3 years of travel. Every trip has taught us something new, and we have learned so many life hacks to make travel smarter and smoother. We want to share them with you so you can avoid the mistakes we made and enjoy your trips even more. I already wrote a bit information on how to prepare for trip in free Vietnam guide, link in the description. But decided to make this more detailed video focused on preparing travel plan, packing tips, and other not obvious details but very important one. So let's start. We usually prefer backpacks or carry-on suitcases, especially since we almost always travel with our laptops. Backpacks have a few other advantages too. They are lighter than suitcases, so you can actually pack more, and they are easier to carry if the road conditions are good. For example, when we travel to places like Bali, we often use motorbikes to get around because of the traffic jams. In that case, a backpack is much more practical for long motorbike rides. It's also easier to run through the airport with a backpack, especially when you are rushing from the plane to customs. In some cities like Ho Chi Minh City, the customs lines can be crazy long, so it's better to run before everyone from your flight gets there. So we finally found the perfect backpack for us. Recently, we have got the City Hopper backpack from Friedrik for my husband, and it's exactly what he needed. His old backpack didn't even come close. So what made this one special? First of all, it has a separate padded compartment for a laptop, which is super important. During security checks, you are often asked to take your laptop out, and if that compartment is buried inside the main section of a full backpack, it's a nightmare to get it back in afterwards. You can imagine how stressed my husband used to get every time. Another cool feature is the expandable top section, which is great when you have done a little shopping and need extra space. There's also a side zipper that runs down the main compartment, making it way easier to access your things and pack efficiently. It has a side pocket for a water bottle or thermos, which is super convenient, and an integrated luggage holder so you can slide it onto your suitcase handle, saving your shoulder at the airport when you need it most. Oh, and yes, there's even a hidden pocket. We love a good secret compartment. And I love to say I really love the design. It looks super classy in real life, especially with the leather detailing and the sleek metal tri-glides. Dark chose the more minimal version made from 100 recycled waterproof nylon, but they also have beautiful nubuck models in other colors. So you can find the link to the backpack in the video description. Now let's talk about the packing method I think works best. I use it both for small and large backpacks. If I'm not mistaken, it's called the army roll method, where you roll your clothes super tight in a specific way. You can find plenty of tutorials on YouTube showing how to do it properly. And don't forget to pack your underwear in a separate bag for hygiene. The same goes for your toiletries. There is always a chance of leaking. I've ruined a few clothes before by packing liquids with a proper sealed bag. It's best to use a Ziploc plastic bag to be safe. What clothes are best to pack when space is limited? First, think about the weather at your destination. Is it hot, rainy, cold, or all of the above? When we travel to Southeast Asia during the winter, for example, we often experience all kinds of weather at once. So here's what we do. Wear your warmest clothes to the airport and on the plane. It's usually cold there anyway, and you can always take them off or use them as a blanket. We usually wear comfy sweatpants, hoodies, and Crocs with socks. If the destination is colder, we'll layer a jean jacket over the hoodie. And instead of Crocs, I wear rubber Birkenstock style shoes. They are great for rainy weather or going to the beach, and they match almost all my outfits. So they look like this. For a short trip, I bring just one pair of shoes plus 3-4 t-shirts or tank tops, or 1-2 lightweight shirts for sun protection, or one pair of leggings. They are really great for layering or hiking. 2 skirts and one pair of lightweight long pants. That's all I took for our 2-week trip to Bali. We just used laundry service twice during the trip. It's super convenient, and honestly, after 3 years of traveling, we have become more minimalistic. For Ildar, he wears the same clothes to the airport, and we pack one pair of shorts, one pair of lightweight long pants, 3-4 t-shirts, and one shirt for sun protection. And of course, lots of socks, some warm for cold weather and lighter one for hot days, because feet tend to sweat and no socks can cause blisters. How do I choose what to bring? I create style capsules so that all items can mix and match. I try to choose clothes that work together and even match with Ildar's outfit. And don't forget your favorite accessories. For jewelry, I don't wear any real jewelry because there is less risk of losing anything valuable. I avoid flashy outfits and stick to simple looks so we don't look like obvious tourists or robbery targets. I hope so. Here's an example of our recent travel capsule. A few extra tips for outfits. Consider local religion and culture. Should you dress more modestly, or is anything fine? Think about your travel location. What are the surroundings like? What colors and styles would look best in photos? Yes, I'm always overthinking. So for toiletries, just bring the essentials, the things that really matters to you, like your favorite hair mask and etc. Only take the amount you'll actually need for the trip. For example, I invested in a few 100 ml travel bottles for my shampoo and conditioner because the ones in hotels, except luxury ones, are honestly not great. For face creams, I use Innisfree, and I usually get their small travel kits as a gift with a full-size product. It's super convenient, and now I just refill those little containers with my usual skincare products. For face cream, if you are going to a hot country, it's better to use a light water-based cream. For cold countries with the freezing temperatures, opt for a rich oil-based cream instead. For cosmetics, if you are going to a hot, humid country, skip heavy makeup. Everything melts easily and runs. I usually only take lipstick and SPF and lots of it, especially near the equator where UV levels are super high. First aid kit. Start with any daily prescription medications. For me, that's Thyroxine for thyroid issues, and there is other essentials we always pack. Ibuprofen for pain, fever, antihistamines for allergies, pancreatine for heavy meals. We like to eat a lot of food during our trips. Activated charcoal or food poisoning pills. That the most essential one. Blister patch, hydrogen peroxide, and antibacterial powder or liquid bandage, especially helpful for humid climates so your wounds will heal faster. It's better to bring your own first aid kit from home as some medicines might not be available in your destination country. I also always bring a light shopper bag. It's really handy for day trips or walks to carry water or, in our case, some filming gear. At the end of the trip, I use it as extra space for new things we bought. I personally don't like carrying a backpack when walking around because it makes me sweat more. I also always pack a pen in my backpack. It's useful when you need to fill out forms on the plane or at immigration. We prefer taking a small umbrella instead of a raincoat. It's small, versatile, it works for rain and also as a sun protection. Wearing just a hat in the heat can still lead to heat stroke, but under an umbrella your hat gets some airflow. In hot countries like Malaysia, wearing a raincoat can be unbearable, but in cooler weather and if you have enough space in your bag, a raincoat can still be a good option. And lastly, we always try to leave a bit of space in our bag when we start the trip because let's be honest, we always end up doing some great shopping and need a room on the way back. Now about carry-on suitcases. According to most airline rules, carry-on bags can only weigh 7 to 10 kg, but the suitcase itself already weighs 2 to 3 kg. So there is no need to pack using the army roll method, otherwise it might go over the limit. Just pack it however is most convenient for you, or use the method from the video how to pack a suitcase with Marie Kondo. I think she's the best in it. At the beginning of June, we are going to a long trip with 2 flights to our homeland. You can try guessing where we are from in the comments. For long trips, having a good quality suitcase is really important. A cheap one can easily break during multiple flights and cause a lot of trouble. So for long trips like this, we have got a large check-in suitcase, also from Carl Friedrik. It has 360-degree spinner wheels and a hard-wearing polycarbonate shell. The robust polycarbonate body and durable aluminum frame keep this travel case going strong. No worries about bumps along the way. It also features a TSA-approved lock system, which is much more secure than traditional zippers. And guess what? This case has 5 locks. That's a lot. And they open and close so smoothly. So satisfying. Let's take a look inside. It has 2 sets of built-in straps and removable compression pad, perfect for maximizing space and keeping things in place. The interior lining feels really high quality, and there are small inner pockets too, ideal for charged cables or earphones. Honestly, this suitcase gives Lexus vibes. It just feels like something I'll be using for a long time. You can find the link to the suitcase in the video description. And we will be testing this suitcase on our upcoming trip to our homeland, so stay tuned for that vlog. So inside the suitcase, I always pack everything into plastic bags, preferably Ziploc bags without any holes. I have had a few problems with shampoo leaking before, and it was super uncomfortable because it was my white dress and it became black. So now I always put liquids in hermetically sealed plastic bags, especially in my checked luggage. I also prefer packing clothes into vacuum Ziploc bags, but I don't overpack them, otherwise this can happen. This is a photo. I saw it on TikTok. It's terrible. I personally love Ziploc bags over packing cubes. They are compressible but also airtight. As for packing in large suitcases, I have stopped trying to pack too neatly. When I pack very tightly, I usually end up with overweight luggage, just like with the carry-ons. Since the usual weight limit is 20-23 kg, there is no need to push yourself to the max when packing, unless the limit is 30 kg. Then I tried harder to pack tightly. For 30 kg limits, it's helpful also to watch Marie Kondo's suitcase packing videos. We also bring a portable luggage scale on trips, which really saves my nerves every time. I prefer just to pass check-in without any extra hassle. No repacking, no overweight fees, and no risk of missing flight because of all that scrambling. Since we weigh our luggage before the trip and also weigh the things we buy at the end, we know if we are going to be overweight in advance, so we just buy extra carry-on or check baggage allowance ahead of time on the airline's website. It might seem like you need a lot of gear to film travel logs, but it's actually much simpler than it looks. So for camera, you need something light, easy to carry, and quick to use, and that's exactly what a smartphone offers. Nothing beats a good smartphone with a high-quality camera, like the latest iPhone or Samsung Galaxy models. Personally, I use the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and my husband used the iPhone 16 Pro to help with the fast filming. Many of the beautiful videos you see on YouTube are actually filmed on smartphones. The difference is in color grading, which gives them that professional look. For photos, I also just use my phone. I have learned a few basic photography tips online like composition and camera settings, and that's been enough. The second most important tool is a tripod, but don't get a cheap one that's usually too short or unstable or breaking easily. I bought mine from Shopee, so you also can buy it just online anywhere. Also, tied for second place is a wireless microphone, which is essential. We use the MAONO T1 mini wireless microphone, this one. You might have noticed in our early vlogs that a lot of shots were ruined by background noise. This is fried onion. And even the noise removal tool in CapCut didn't help much. A wireless mic helps a lot, especially when you're more than 2 meters away from the camera, like now. Let me show you how it sounds. And this is my voice in a quiet room with a mic. And this is my voice without mono microphone, just with iPhone. Now I'm outside of the noise street. This is how I sound without microphone, but at the same distance like the previous shot. This is how I sound closer. And now how I'm sound on the same noisy place, but with microphone. So the difference is really huge. I really like the MAONO T1 Mini. It comes with two mics, one for me.
Hello. 1 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 2 3 4 5.
It clips easily into clothes. Like this. Do I look like a reporter? Produces clear natural audio and offers full-level AI noise reduction. The companion app has cool features like voice effects and mic gain adjustment. It's super easy to use and has 3 hours of battery life with a charging case. There are Lightning and Type-C versions available. You can find the link for this microphone in the video description. I used it through this entire video, so you are hearing the sound quality right now. We also bought a gimbal, but I only use it with my old phone, which had poor stabilization. The latest iPhones and Galaxy phones have great built-in stabilization, so I don't use a gimbal anymore. Plus, it made my phone overheat and stop working sometimes. We also recently bought an Insta360 for underwater shots, but that's just bonus and not essential. So in the end, you only need 3 tools to start making your great vlogs. If you would like to know the whole process of how we create our vlogs, from filming to editing, let me know in the comments and I'll make a video about it. We have chosen Uniqlo's iconic fanny pack because it's perfect for long trips. I keep all my most important belongings in it, like passports and money, so everything is always with easy reach. It's super handy during immigration or ID checks, and in case of an emergency on the plane, your essentials are always with you. We have also heard about theft happening on planes where people steal from carry-on bags in overhead bins. So even if your carry-on or backpacks goes missing, your most important items are safe with you. Another reason why we like this bag, the strap is sewn directly to the bag, not attached with a carabiner, which could easily be pulled off or broken by a thief. Yes, I'm a bit of anxious traveler, but that means I'm ready for 99% of situations. This type of bag isn't exclusive to Uniqlo, many other brands have similar ones. So some advantages of fanny pack. It's lightweight, so it doesn't put strain on your shoulder during long walks. It's spacious. I carry 2 phones, a charger, a power bank, a mini first aid kit. We will always bring with us diarrhea pills. Highly recommend to do the same. And of course, cosmetics. Right now, I carry 4 lipsticks because I recently discovered the Floret brand and they are amazing. I've already bought more for my friends and family, and this is not advertisement. This cute lipstick and lip glosses. They're so good. Here's a collage of what's inside my fanny pack from our Vietnam guide. For money, we always bring some cash since not all shops Southeast Asia accept card payments. Plus, it's convenient for tipping. At the very least, carry enough for a taxi ride. Also, we use passport covers because passports can get damaged during travel. And if they are damaged too much, customs might not accept them, which could cause serious problems on the border. This is my favorite part. There are 2 types of travelers. The first type is like me, a ready for anything traveler who tries to plan every detail in advance to make the trip smooth. And the second type is like my friend Niki, a chill traveler who prefers to relax and more decide on the go. Let me first share how we prepare. I can't say what's the best way to buy tickets because we often don't know far in advance where we will go. But of course, we try to book early when possible. It's usually cheaper. Once I know the destination country, I start searching for hidden gems on TikTok, usually around 2 weeks before the trip. After a few days of searching, the app starts recommending even more content from your destination, and you can find some real local treasures. A few days before the trip, I also start watching YouTube videos about the main sites. I don't just watch English content, I also check local creators because they often know the newest and trendiest spots. Local bloggers, both on TikTok and YouTube, are great for finding non touristy routes. If I find an interesting place, I save it immediately to a Google Maps list. I organize them with emojis and labels, and now I will use Bangkok City as an example. For example, like this, like Bangkok food for food spots, Bangkok cafes for coffee, tea, and desserts, and common lists for all countries for shopping, spas, hotels, and hospitals, and etc. But I prefer not do too many lists because they become like too much in the Google Map and difficult to find them later. And I use the green flag want to go tag for attractions and entertainment. I also download the offline map of the destination area on Google Maps so I can use it without internet. You can do it here. Then I create a note on my phone where I list shopping wish list, local foods to try, and restaurants and attractions. From those lists, I build a daily itinerary by day for longer trips or even by hour for shorter ones when time is tight. I also ask Ildar to choose few places he'd like to visit, especially when I can't decide. If any places don't make it into the main plan, I keep them in the backup list in case something's closed or plans are changed. Also, I save all tickets, bookings, e-visas, insurance, and documents to my phone so they are available offline. Especially helpful at border checks or when there is no internet. We usually book tours, airport transfer tickets, and eSIM cards in advance. This saves a lot of time. I use Klook.com for almost everything, and they often have unique tours. You can use my promo code GreenLayla5 for an extra discount. About money, I research whether it's better to pay by card or cash, check exchange rates, and find the best places to exchange money. For transport, it's good to know if public transport is more efficient, like in Bangkok or Kuala Lumpur, where traffic jam is terrible. I also check how to pay for buses or trains and what taxi app is used, for example, Grab in Southeast Asia. I always download those apps in advance. Once we forgot and it was disaster at the airport. And now let's meet my friend Niki, our chill traveler, and let's ask how he prepares for his trips. Hello.
Hello, everybody. My name is Niki. So, for some reason, Layla thought that I can share my travel wisdom with you. I'm not sure how many people would relate with my approach or how many people would relate with yours. But when I plan my trips, I don't like to plan everything from point to point. I want to have more opportunities to random things showing up in my itineraries, and I just plan the bare minimum. Like when I travel somewhere, I try to get a ticket to that place. I try to get the place where I'm gonna stay overnight, not for the entire duration of the trip, but for at least first couple of nights. And that's basically it. The rest of the things I prefer to keep open. Let's say I went to Sapa, a very beautiful place in the northern Vietnam recently, and it was about 5 to 6 days that I could afford staying there. And what I prepared is just a ticket to Sapa, no ticket back from there yet, and also a hotel where we're gonna stay for 2 nights, not for the entirety of the trip. And this way of planning or not planning things makes me able to adjust it on the go, and I really liked Sapa. That trip was amazing, a really beautiful place, and I decided to stay there longer, which I wouldn't be able to do if I booked every single night for a hotel, if I pre-planned it extensively. Thinking about other things, I think when I travel abroad, I also prepare my travel insurance like every single time. I used to travel for years without having an insurance, and fortunately, it did not backfire on me. Like, I didn't have any bad accidents. But with time, I realized that I better have this layer of security. So now, wherever I go, I have my travel insurance. Sometimes I also pre-order eSIMs, so pre-order physical SIMs that I can pick up at the airport upon my arrival. Depends on my destination. Somewhere it's easier and cheaper to get eSIM, but at some places it's actually cheaper to get a physical SIM. But thinking about other things like any activities, anywhere I want to go, anywhere I want to visit, I don't really plan much, I don't even research much. I prefer to come to a place and then either ask local people what and where I better go, or just Google after arriving. Maybe because I'm lazy to plan everything in advance, but I prefer to think that I just want more randomness and spontaneity in my trips. Sometimes though I plan really precisely, like I recently had a trip to Beijing with my mom, and it was a very short trip, just 4 days, and it was quite complicated itinerary. Like I was flying from one country to China, my mom was flying from her country to China. I didn't want to have any issues with that, so I planned everything precisely, but that is rather an exception for me. I have no idea how Layla managed to plan her trips, so much attention, so many details. I don't know what to say else. Like, I hope you like my travel wisdom.
Okay, let's say thank you to Niki for sharing his experience. And between he's my friend, and I was inspired to start YouTube channel because he has really great
Oh.
YouTube channel. If you want, subscribe him too.
Oh, thank you for the shout out, Layla, and thank you for this unexpected little encounter. Like a few days ago, Layla says that she wants to film me and ask some questions about planning a trip. I was like, okay. So thank you for having me, and everybody, пока.
Yeah, пока, Niki. Some important items from the suitcase should be packed in your carry-on, like an extra pair of socks and underwear, just in case your flight is delayed or you don't have access to your checked luggage. When flying, it's always better to wear more layers than fewer, since you can easily take off layers and use them as a lumbar support or a blanket. Wearing shorts, a short sleeve shirt, or slippers is usually a bad idea. Planes are cold 99% of the time. The best travel outfit, a hoodie, preferably with a zipper, long pants, and comfy shoes with soft socks. I always wear loose, non-tight socks because your feet can swell during the flight. Lately, I've been thinking about getting compression socks for long flights. Feels like I'm not as young as I used to be. To help me sleep, I bring a travel pillow to support my neck, or sometimes I use it for my lower back since I always sit with a straight spine. If I don't, my back starts to ache. Also, don't forget to bring a plastic bag for your travel pillow during luggage checks. They often ask you to place it on the belt, and those belts are really dirty because we don't want to deal with pimples after. There are so many travel pillows types. Choose what suits you best. I've seen also inflatable travel pillows that save space and are popular with budget travelers. To fall asleep on a plane, the best method for me is to clean out my phone gallery or playing offline games. My husband and I downloaded a few that we can play together, so we use this one. There are even games for 2 players. I always bring a bottle of water because it's super dry on plane, and few dry snacks like granola just in case I get hungry. Before traveling, make sure to check what items are allowed into your destination country. For example, Australia has strict rules. You can't bring in certain types of food unless you declare them, and they have many other restrictions too. And that's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any travel prep hacks, please share them in the comments. I'd love to read them. So see you in the next video.